What are you doing?
Thor, what are you doing? You silly baby.
In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make your own cloth surgical masks. I know this video is about a week late, so thank you for hanging in there with me. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to kind of emphasize the importance of doing your own research and being informed. I feel like, especially with recent events, people have been very quick to jump on whatever the reactionary bandwagon is, whether or not that's rushing out to the store and buying up all the toilet paper, or buying paper towels, or flour. I haven't been able to buy flour in like 2.5 weeks. You know, whatever it may be, why are we doing that? Like, take a moment to think about that. If you're here because it's 2020 and you're making a cloth mask because of COVID-19, understand the why behind it. Like, I feel like it's so important to understand the research, the science, the tests, the effectiveness behind it. Because, like, is a cloth mask even effective? Like, are the masks even doing anything? Like, I don't know, are they? If you're only here to see the tutorial on how to sew this mask, the timestamps are listed below, feel free to skip ahead. But if you're interested in some of the research that I've done, I'm more than happy to share that with you. So if you are, just keep watching. So first and foremost, yes, cloth surgical masks are doing something. So congratulations, you're taking the first step at protecting your health. The main thing they're doing is they're protecting others from you. So the mask being in close proximity to your face is actually acting as a shield. It's acting as a barrier for your spit, your snot, your sneezes and saliva from spraying and coming into contact with the external world. So if everyone is wearing a mask, it reduces the chances of the viruses and germs getting on communal contact surfaces, therefore reducing the chance that you will end up getting it. Now, in the frenzy of COVID-19, as we charge through the global shortage of rated respirators, the lemming mentality seems to be using cloth surgical masks as a replacement. Desperate times call for desperate measures, which is why this tutorial now exists. I live in the United States, and if you're like me and you're considered essential personnel, there's hope. While cloth masks are not an adequate substitution for N95 or higher masks, they do provide some level of particle filtration. I've linked several sources of my own research down below. I highly encourage you to not only check those out, but to do research on your own. The more knowledge you have on this, the better off you will be. So while I want to encourage you to do your own homework, I do want to go over a couple of points from my own research that I think are extremely important for you to understand before we get into making our own masks. 1. Cloth masks are better than no mask. Cloth masks have been proven to filter particles from the air. However, the important part to emphasize is that there is no guarantee to how effective your mask will be. The effectiveness of cloth masks is highly variable, with factors such as fabric, thread count, ply, and durability all playing into the mask's effectiveness. In comparison, N95 masks with a fit test score of 100 are 95% effective at filtering out particles as small as 0.03 micrometers. The smaller size particles created by a cough or a sneeze are around 0.05 micrometers, with the average of our concerns falling somewhere between 0.35 to 0.1 micrometer. Different studies on cloth masks of varying designs rang in showing filtration success anywhere from 15% to as high as 94% under varying aerosol particle size in controlled environments. That being said, there are some general rules that will help improve your mask's filtration abilities. Woven fabrics are better than non-woven fabrics, regardless of whether the material is natural or synthetic. There is no proven benefit to using 100% cotton textiles versus cutting up one of your old polyester shirts. Cotton is known to be a bit more breathable and in the end will break down naturally once the mask has lived its life. But in a life or death situation, I say use what you got. Pleats are better than no pleats. Pleated masks reign champion due to one main reason. It creates a better formed seal around your face. The pocket in front of your mouth that the pleat creates give you room to breathe without billowing out the edges of your mask. The better the seal, the more your surrounding air is actually getting filtered through the mask instead of just getting sucked in through the sides. Don't be skimpy on your masks. In this tutorial, I made 2 masks, one with 12-inch cloth and one with 14-inch cloth. The pocket formed around my face with the 14-inch cloth not only gave my face more room, but provided an all-around better consistent seal without eating the fabric. More layers is better. In many of the medical requests circulating online, hospitals and healthcare providers are asking for the donated masks to be at least 4 layers thick. In studies I found with filtration success up to 67%, the masks had up to 9 layers of 100% heavyweight cotton fabric. This tutorial is based on a pattern reposted by buttoncounter.com, and in the original posting the pattern is only 2-ply. How you choose to sew your mask is up to you. You can always layer the masks on top of one another, but in this tutorial, the masks I have made are 4-ply each. Cloth does not mean forever. Remember the reason we're doing this. If you're watching this now at the time of posting, odds are you're sewing this mask to try to protect yourself and your loved ones from what could be a deadly virus. Basic rules of sanitation apply. Take care of where you set your mask down when you aren't wearing it, what surfaces you're touching, and how often you're touching the outside of your mask. If you're doing this for the same reason I am, which is to preserve the rated medical supplies that are available for those who truly need it, then you're likely going to use your mask more than once. Please note that studies have proven after as little as 4 washes for the effectiveness of a cloth mask to drop by as much as 20%. My suggestion is simple. Make your mask out of 100% biodegradable, renewable resources. In this tutorial, I'm using 100% cotton. Sew several of them. Cut your elastic to slightly larger than you actually need. In this tutorial, I use 16-inch strips. Wear your masks, wash them once or twice. I recommend washing by hand and then hang drying. But after 1 or 2 washes, I recommend removing the elastic and taking that mask and tossing it into the compost bin. Take that elastic, sew it onto your next mask, and you're back in business. So that being said, I'm gonna get down off my soapbox. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. If you are interested in seeing how I sewed this wonderful mask, then keep watching. So elastic. So now that we've got the mask is put together, squared away. Again, it's not quite as tall as it's supposed to be. The pattern dimensions that are linked below are for the height to be 14 inches, and I had two 12 by 12 squares. But yeah, it's a little loose down here, so I think that's where the elastic will help pull it up. So I went digging through all of my craft supplies, and I found some elastic. I have an 1/8 inch elastic band, and I have 3/4 inch elastic band. This is the plus side of being a crafter that hoards crafting supplies. Around my face, while I was hunting for this, I found this headband, and as you can see, I left it out and the dogs got to it. Hooray. So the other option here, and I might do this for one, not maybe the other. Honestly, it's pretty comfortable.
Somebody's buying